Hello. Before we start today's episode, if you would like a condensed version of what I'm talking about in this podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the Perfectionist Guide. You can read the entire thing in 3 minutes or less. To access this, go to courtneylovegavin.com/newsletter. Are you a bit of a perfectionist, type A, hyper performer? Then you know that having the audacity to see an ideal and bring it into reality while breaking generational habits of hustle can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. If you are ready to burn bright instead of burning out, to lead without losing yourself, and to enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create, then keep listening. I'm your host, America's leader on rewiring perfectionism, CLG, and this is Perfectionism Rewired, the podcast. Welcome to Perfectionism Rewired. This time of year is synonymous with people pleasing. That is why it is important for us to discuss saying no to other people. When we have a hard time saying no, our lives get less authentic very quickly. Our lives can become not our own, and we end up living out of alignment with what we truly feel or what we want or what we believe. Saying no is something that many people struggle with, and for that reason, it is easy for us to ignore because it's easy to think, it's normal. Everyone I know does it. Just let's say you have decided to get to a healthy weight so you're no longer obese. You could be like, well, everyone I know is overweight. Everyone I know only eats Taco Bell. It's not that bad that I'm eating Taco Bell, but you are here because you don't want to settle. Let's not settle for a less than authentic life. Let's not settle for living in dishonesty. Think about this. When we say yes, but we want to say no, we are lying because we're not operating out of full integrity. It's pretending. And then we have to go on pretending. That creates more dishonesty, which doesn't feel good, especially if you view yourself as an honest person and you value integrity and you want to be an honest person and truthful in the relationships that you have in your life. If you haven't listened to the podcast episode on people pleasing and people trickery, I highly recommend you listen to that episode because if you struggle with saying no, I have a strong hunch that you also people please. Sometimes we want to say no, but we don't say no because then we will feel guilty because we believe that we should do this, that I'll feel really bad if I don't do it, like if I don't pick my friend up from the airport. But that's a fear-based reason. If we are afraid that we're going to let someone down or we're going to hurt their feelings, or we're going to disappoint them, or we're going to have FOMO, if we're afraid of what other people will think, the most important person in your life is always going to be yourself. And the most important lessons that you have will always be about you. What are you making no mean to you when you say it? Are you making it mean that you're not committed enough? Are you making it mean that you aren't good enough? Are you making it mean that you're doing something wrong or that you'll be missing out on something? Because whatever you're making it mean is completely optional. It's really powerful because you are getting to know your fears about yourself. Question why. Pause the podcast right now and write down on notes or pen and paper what comes up for you when you think about saying no to things that you really want to say no to, but you say yes instead. Now, if you are willing to say no, you are going to get to know yourself more and you're going to be able to trust yourself more. Because the worst thing that can happen, think about this, the worst thing that can happen will always be a thought and maybe a feeling that goes along with it. I deliberately choose what I'm going to say to myself instead of just running on autopilot. After a situation where I would have said yes, and instead I said no, even though I was afraid of what the other person's reaction might be, I tell myself that was a really good thing to do. And I'm like, CLG, that is you. That was you at your best. That's who I know that you're becoming. That's my girl. Thank you for remembering who the fuck you are. And thank you for doing that. Now, if you say those things to yourself, it won't matter whether or not anyone else says them to you or they are so thankful for you saying yes. It goes back, I know it's very cliche and cheesy and there's probably a million Pinterest spins on it, but it goes back to sometimes saying yes to someone else is saying no to yourself. It's important to use this opportunity to learn more about ourselves. What can managing your mindset around saying no look like? A huge reason why we're afraid to say no is because we think that the other person will be offended and that they'll think that if I'm saying no to them, that I'm rejecting them. Let's just remove that mystery right now. We aren't responsible for how another person reacts to our no. We need to know that when we say no to someone else, it's totally neutral. I have a couple tips and situations that we're going to run through for you. These are all things that come up with my clients. I know that they are coming up for you too. When you are saying no to someone else, it is never your responsibility for how they feel or what they do. Their feelings and their actions will always come from their thoughts. And knowing and really understanding this before saying no is important for you. That way you can let go and give that person that you are telling no, give them the responsibility and the accountability that they deserve. Number 2, your reason or excuse for saying no. Nobody cares. We have created a culture of over-explaining an apology. You can just say no. You don't have to have an explanation. You don't have to have an excuse. That might make you feel very uncomfortable, but just know that explanations are unnecessary. You absolutely do not have to explain yourself. And the more you try, the more you are feeding this unhealthy habit of explanation and apology. You don't need to explain or defend. You are the leader of your life. Leaders don't explain or defend. If they want an explanation or more info, they can ask you. Even your child will ask you why. They love to ask why. But for the most part, give them that opportunity. I'll tell you, most adults will take a no at face value. Most people will not go back and be like, well, what's your explanation? Just tell them no. Now, if just saying no makes you uncomfortable, let's say it's family members or people that depend on your help, you can say no and also say what you can offer because of the magnitude of the relationship. Say no and then say, hey, I can't do this, but I can do this. Again, you don't have to do that, but if it gives you more confidence in saying no, I say go for it. The 4th way you can manage your mindset around saying no is to do it from a loving place. An example is that I've had a lot of people ask me if they could trade me for coaching, give me some other kind of service or goods to have me coach them. Like we're on the Oregon Trail or something. And for my coaching program, my answer is always no. I don't do that because I deal in money. I believe that the other person should get paid for what they do, and I should too. And we pay in dollars. You vote for people's value with your dollars. And it's very clean and it's loving. And if the other person is offended when I say no, I let them be offended. If they want to make me the bad guy, I will totally be that for them. If they want me to be a villain so they can be a victim, I am willing to be that. If that helps them, I will be a villain with a capital V. I am okay with that because I love my reasons and I feel like I am operating in truth for all of us. That feels good to me. And that feels so much better than the lie of yes, because that is where resentment comes from. That isn't fair to you or to the other person. it's better to just say, if someone asks you to do something, to say, I for sure won't do it justice because I'll be dreading and hating it and avoiding it and putting off. So I'm going to tell you no. It's okay to get real about it. You don't have to say that you're too busy. That is never the reason, because we find time for things that we really want to do or things that we think are really important. So it's really not that we're too busy. It's not because of your kids. Your kids aren't an excuse for you not showing up. Step one of progressing in all areas of your life, but especially when it comes to telling other people no, is just owning the truth of it. Because the more that you say yes, the more people will ask you to keep doing that thing. And then if you're feeling resentful that you're doing what people have asked you to do, then you're just going to continue the resentment cycle. It is possible to feel strong, confident, and empowered when you are saying no. It is really just a matter of changing your thoughts around it. I say no to things that I don't want to do. I am in control of my decisions. I have power over my choices. These are all such empowering thoughts, and these are available to you through saying no. And even without saying no, because then when you are saying yes, you are still the one controlling your decisions, and you are deciding to say yes powerfully. Saying no is a habit. It is a habit that you can build up. And the more that you do it, the easier it is. Start small. What's something that you can say no to today? The habit of no is a game changer in bettering your relationship with yourself. I used to say yes to everyone else except for myself. And now I learned to say no, and it has not only given me more time, more pleasure, more honesty, more authenticity in my life, but now I really understand that if someone doesn't love me saying no to them, it's not about me saying no, it's about what they are making it mean. If you noticed in this episode that holy cannoli, holy wow, I read you like a menu. If you're nodding your head yes, listen closely, because I might have the solution you've been searching for. My Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator, a 6-week, highly individualized one-on-one coaching experience designed exclusively for perfectionists like you. Your perfectionism is actually your greatest asset, and leveraging it can be hard work or take years of guesswork. That's why in Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator, I give you my key frameworks to taking charge of your Ferrari drive, proven to work even for the most type A, high-strung, stubborn perfectionists. In the first 30 days, you will cut your burnout in half, increase your professional fulfillment by at least 150%, and your self-compassion will go up at least 250%. And that is just your first 30 days. So if you want to save yourself years of trial and error, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/accelerator today. Or if you want to take the easy way, just click the link in the show notes to check out the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator.